Hi, everybody. Welcome to week 5. We are already halfway through the course. Oh, my goodness. Anyway, I hope you were able to spend at least a little bit of time with family or friends over Thanksgiving. Yesterday, I had family in town, and so I did take yesterday off, but I'm back with you today and ready to go. So, back to class. I hope you all saw the feedback that I gave you on your individual assignments. For some of you, that means not just looking in the comment box, that means opening up your assignment and seeing what I wrote at the end of it. And then also, DQ week 4, DQ1, at the bottom of the page, I gave some general class feedback, and I hope you take a look at that. So if you have any questions about that feedback, please let me know. All right, so for week 5, this is what we're supposed to be doing, our objectives. Examine the role of faculty in distance ed. Identify those personal characteristics that would lead to a student being successful in distance ed. And I'm hoping that you've all identified a few of those already, right? And this leads us right into our first discussion question, talking about characteristics of successful students, right? So when I was in my doctoral program, I had an online doctoral program, but interspersed, we had these in-person intensives that we would attend. Maybe they were 3 or 4 days long, because we were also working on our dissertations and that sort of thing. And I was working full time. My husband and I had a son in school. I had church responsibilities, other social responsibilities, and, in addition to going to school, I was working on my dissertation. And I think the thing that was probably most important to my success was being organized. During those 3 years, we did very little spontaneous activity. Basically, I took the entire week and blocked out every single hour. I blocked out time for my son. I blocked out time for my husband. And of course, my study time, my class time I blocked out, my dissertation work time I blocked out, so that I was just really extremely organized and focused so that I knew I had time to get everything done. That was probably the thing that saved me the most. Also, I did have a very supportive family. Even though I had a somewhat younger son, he knew it was important that mommy had to get her work done, but he also knew that he had time blocked out during my week so that he wouldn't feel that he was forgotten. So that's what helped me immensely. And from a faculty standpoint, teaching in distance ed, organization skills are still really important. Students appreciate timely, meaningful feedback. And if I don't block out enough time to do that, I think my work suffers. Students like to know that you have a clue what's happening in the course, when things are due, what's coming up. Those type of organizational skills, I think those are also important if you're going to teach in the online setting. And our second question deals with the faculty role in distance education. And I think it does differ a little bit whether you're teaching undergrad or grad, because I think undergrad is a little bit more guided, that initial pre-licensure undergrad. And then once you move beyond that, I think faculty are more of a guide, kind of keeping things going along the direction. And especially in graduate school online, we really want you to be able to identify appropriate resources, dig into things that you have an interest in. So we try to allow you a little bit more freedom in terms of what we're focusing on. Okay. And so I do see faculty more as a guide. Okay, so now on to our upcoming assignment. You're going to identify an issue that impacts distance ed, tell me why it's important, and then propose a solution. And this all has to be backed up by peer-reviewed evidence, right? Peer-reviewed evidence is in journals, it's research. Okay. So it can be a faculty issue, a student issue, an administrative issue. So you can really approach it from any of those angles. You might want to draw on some of your prior experience about what you would think, or you might want to just search for issues in distance education and select something that strikes your fancy. Again, you get to choose the format, but it does have to be different from your previous assignments format. So if you did paper, you need to do a PowerPoint or a podcast or whatever you would like that way. Please definitely take my feedback from the last assignment and apply it to this paper. And have fun with it. I mean, as long as you can back up what your problem and solution are, you can get as creative as you want. So, please feel free. I'd like to talk just a little bit more about teaching in distance ed, just in case any of you have an interest in possibly pursuing that as your education field. Most adjunct faculty I know, especially in nursing, but in different areas otherwise, most adjunct faculty that I know, and at GCU, most of the online faculty, particularly in nursing, are adjunct faculty. That tends to be, some schools do offer full-time online faculty, but it's not that often. Either the faculty will be adjunct, or maybe they'll split between an on-ground and an online setting. But the adjunct faculty that I know really teach because they enjoy it. They want to give something back to the next generation of people coming up into the field. They like interacting with students. A lot of times with adjunct faculty, you'll find that they may have more experience in the field rather than educating. So that's something that might need to be considered. And so a lot of universities try to give online instructors a lot of tools and prepared materials because maybe their forte is more in the knowledge of the field instead of the knowledge of teaching. So it tends to be a little more structured than maybe the freedom that you have with an on-ground course. Okay. And faculty that teach online need to try to develop a sense of caring among the individuals in the course, get to know people a little bit. And with us, we only have 8 weeks together, right? So I've got your profile, I've got the way that you respond to questions, I've got the way that you answer questions, and I genuinely enjoy interacting with you. I find that people who enjoy things maybe like FaceTime, Facebook, tend to enjoy the online setting. There's a little bit of similarity to some of the interactions. Anyway, you also need to have I think, even more than on ground, you need to have a genuine interest in your subject matter. In the on-ground setting, I can use many more active learning strategies. I can develop different scenarios, different group activities, things like that help to make a little bit maybe more of a dry topic a little bit interesting, but I don't have as many tools available in the online setting. So I think the online instructor really has to be genuinely interested in the topic that they're teaching. So those are just a few of my thoughts about teaching online. I do enjoy teaching online. I also enjoyed teaching on ground when I did that. So I just think it's an interesting way. I love teaching in graduate school because I'm working with nurses who have experience, who've been out in the real world, who I feel are my peers, and so I enjoy that greatly. All right, guys, I think that's about it for this week. I hope you had a nice Thanksgiving. I know here in Salt Lake City, Utah, they're telling me that tomorrow we're going to get kind of snowed on quite a bit. So we'll see how that goes. So the next few weeks in the course, we'll be going along with our assignments, and I'll probably be introducing a little other tidbits for us to discuss. But this week you've got another project, and so I'm not going to add like an article or something like that because we've got a lot of work to do, but we'll be discussing online education. Distance education. I'll see you in the main form.